Say what you will about Ubisoft's corporate practices and the controversy surrounding their recent games, but what they've shown of Star Wars Outlaws has nailed that authentic Star Wars tone and atmosphere to a T. I found myself particularly hard-pressed to please in this regard, mostly due to Disney's treatment of the legendary franchise. But to my surprise, Star Wars Outlaws shares a lot of that authenticity found in the original trilogy.
Kickbacks, shady deals, they all go through me.
Okay, we gotta hurry this up. Just pick who you want to pin this on.
Let's help each other then. Scrub some records for me and I'll get you out of here.
Star Wars Outlaws features 5 large locations to explore, and of course the iconic desert Tatooine is in one of them. Since Outlaws is set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, we'll be getting a first-hand experience of the criminal underpinnings surrounding the Hutts. Being able to fully explore Jabba's palace and take on jobs for the Big Hutt himself seems almost too good to be true for a Star Wars fan. The infamous Hutt Cartel is one of the many syndicates you can partner with in Outlaws.
Oh, come on!
You'll be chatting up familiar characters like Jabba's right-hand critter, Salacious Crumb, as well as Bib Fortuna, and it's even confirmed that Han Solo's carbonite body will make an appearance. While Boba Fett hasn't been confirmed, I'd bet some big galactic credits he at least gets a cameo, though I'd be especially keen to interact or join up with him on a bounty. Players rightfully got upset when Ubisoft announced the Jabba's Gambit missions as an absurd $109.99 Gold Edition exclusive. The developer has since assured us that the Hutt Cartel Syndicate as a whole is not affected by the exclusive mission, so we can still expect a whole lot of Jabba the Hutt content regardless of the edition. Since we're on the topic of Tatooine, Star Wars Outlaws even allows you to trade with Jawas. Just like in Episode 4, you'll find Jawas standing in front of massive sandcrawler transports selling manufactured gonk droids and various other heaps of scrap. One of the preview quests showcase a quest retrieving a Sarlacc tooth to trade for a useful ship turret, perfect for dogfights around an orbit. How much more Star Wars can you get? These kinds of flavorful quests are littered throughout the game. While some quests may be hit or miss, like how empty the dead Sarlacc is in this case, there's no denying how unmistakably Star Wars the scenarios, characters, and environments are. I'm looking forward to seeing what other situations Kay Vess and her rodent-like companion Nix find themselves in, even if they don't reach the heights of The Witcher 3 or GTA's quests.
What if I say no?
Now that you know who I work for, I can't let you walk out of here.
Varric hired me to do a job. I'm gonna finish it.
Shame.
Can't trust anyone out here. Oh, nice.
Of course, there's more than just familiar scenarios and locations to experience in Star Wars Outlaws. The game manages to exude rich world building and environmental storytelling for brand new locales, such as the savannah-like moon of Toshara. Toshara is the quintessential open environment, but it's also brimming with rich Star Wars world building. The vast savannah plains are dotted with objectives and stuff to explore and can be traversed on your speeder bike. The cities within Toshara couldn't be more vividly contrasted with the surrounding plains. Miragana is a valley city tucked against and under a giant arched butt-like mountain. The savannah atmosphere quickly disappears as Kay and Nix pass the stormtrooper-lined security checkpoints using a fake ID to get into the downtown area. Wafts of smoke and beams of neon light pervade the densely populated cityscape, almost dissipating the outdoorsy charm completely. But they didn't just copy-paste stuff across locations. The inner city dons decor specifically suited to Toshara's savannah-like surface, with canyon walls delicately carved to serve as the walls and pillars and native indigenous plants lined against the shelving. Besides the rich environmental details differentiating each area, NPCs chatter about local disputes and goings-on, usually related to the Pike Syndicate running things in that particular sector of Mirogana. Slapping a bow onto the rich atmosphere is the authentically scored soundtrack, which sounds like a subdued and ambient take on John Williams' classic work. When music isn't playing, your earbuds still get a treat in the form of authentic Star Wars sound effects. Seriously, pay attention to how strong the sound design is in Outlaws. From the chirping of native insects to the whirring of your speeder bike engine, these are quintessential Star Wars sound effects. It's hard not to feel satisfied when you're chilling in Tatooine playing sabacc to some classic William-esque music and the cries of a gonk droid buzzing about behind you. The way Star Wars Outlaws organically dishes out minigames to the player is surprisingly antithetical to Ubisoft's usual checklist mentality. You walk into the characters playing card games and betting on holographic races. There's no pop-up checklist or quest to play the minigames that we've seen. You just interact with them when you feel like it. Other subtle activities not spelled out to the players include leaning on railings to enjoy the view of a landscape, petting banthas, and listening in on the many conversations and fights between random NPCs populating the game. At the end of the day though, we're still playing an open-world Ubisoft game, so a majority of activities are initiated by marking it on the menu and following the waypoint to the location. I never expected this to be a Rockstar GTA-like experience. Sure, you can bring your wanted level to 6 and have a horde of Imperial stormtroopers coming after you, but this is more of a feature inside the game than a game-changer GTA experience. If you've ever wanted to live in a corner of the Star Wars galaxy like I have, exploration has many delights within Star Wars Outlaws, even if it is structured like a typical Ubisoft game. Stealth is another thing I'm excited to try out in Star Wars Outlaws. Previews have cited Outlaw stealth as laborious and slow, but I think I'd get a kick out of it based on my preferences. Maybe it's because I just really love Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, or because I'm looking for something slightly different from your usual lightsaber duels, but having to remain unseen and careful about your movements is rather enticing. Using environmental objects like exploding barrels and such just adds to the environmental awareness required, which is a plus if you love taking a closer look at the Star Wars doodads decorating the environments. As such, Outlaws features maze-like levels with more nooks and crannies than any other Star Wars games, allowing you to see more of the galaxy's seedy underbelly not shown in other games. Some of your gadgets include a ranged hacking device, grappling hook, and data spike lockpicking. I am impressed by how these stealth gadgets function and control in-game, especially the lockpicking, which as we all know has a reputation for being bad in video games. Of course, you can always solve things with your blasters if you hate slinking around unseen in the shadows. Outlaws makes a blaster build very doable with a wealth of upgrades and temporary heavy weapons that Nyx grabs off of enemies for you to use. Even though I'm most excited by the stealth gameplay, Outlaws still allows a variety of styles to get through its situations. And regarding stealth, Massive Entertainment, who worked on Tom Clancy's The Division, was itself made up of former Splinter Cell staff. And then you have the upcoming Splinter Cell remake, being made in the same Snowdrop engine as Star Wars Outlaws. Outlaws doesn't just have some stealth elements in it, it's got that classic stealth DNA spanning across decades. Star Wars Outlaws won't satisfy every Star Wars fan, but it does so much right where it really matters. That authentic Star Wars atmosphere and world building are all here, as well as a plethora of open world activities that players can engage themselves in for months at a time. Whether you're interested in the stealth or want to play like a GTA gang member, Star Wars Outlaws is sure to provide some satisfaction based on what we've seen of the previews. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.